Yeast is a living organism that ferments sugars, producing carbon dioxide gas, which causes bread to rise. Baking soda is a leavening agent that reacts with acidic ingredients to produce carbon dioxide, making baked goods rise. Cream of tartar is an acidic powder commonly used to stabilize egg whites and prevent the crystallization of sugar in meringues. Gluten is a protein found in wheat, and it gives structure and elasticity to dough, contributing to the texture of baked goods. The Maillard reaction occurs when proteins and sugars in baked goods undergo a complex chemical reaction, resulting in browning and enhanced flavor. Eggs act as emulsifiers, helping to blend and stabilize the mixture of ingredients in baked goods, promoting a uniform texture. Overmixing cake batter can lead to excess gluten development, resulting in a dense and tough texture in the final baked product. Baking powder is a combination of acidic cream of tartar and a base, usually baking soda, providing both fast and slow-acting leavening in baked goods. The autolyse technique involves allowing flour and water to rest before full mixing, improving gluten development and enhancing the overall texture of bread. The sugar in baked goods not only adds sweetness but also contributes to tenderness, moisture retention, and browning during the baking process. High-altitude baking requires adjustments such as reducing leavening agents and sugar, and increasing liquid, to account for lower air pressure affecting rising and baking. Sourdough bread relies on naturally occurring wild yeast and lactic acid bacteria for fermentation, resulting in a distinctive flavor and texture. The cold butter in pie crusts serves a purpose by creating pockets of steam during baking, contributing to the flakiness of the crust. Dutch processed cocoa is treated with alkali, reducing its acidity and giving it a milder flavor compared to natural cocoa, affecting the leavening properties in recipes. Room temperature ingredients are crucial for proper emulsification, aeration, and overall even blending in recipes like cakes and cookies. In gluten-free baking, xanthan gum is often used to mimic the binding and thickening properties of gluten, providing structure and elasticity in the absence of wheat protein. Pâte brisée, a French pastry dough, is made by cutting cold butter into flour, resulting in a crumbly texture and commonly used for savory dishes like quiches. The crumb in baking refers to the internal texture of bread or cake, including the size and distribution of air pockets. Blind baking involves pre-baking a pie or tart crust before adding the filling, preventing a soggy bottom and ensuring proper doneness. The addition of vinegar or lemon juice to milk creates a buttermilk substitute, often used in recipes to add acidity and react with leavening agents. Natural sweeteners like honey and maple syrup not only add sweetness but also contribute unique flavors and moisture to baked goods. Enriched dough contains added fats and sugars, resulting in a softer texture, commonly used for items like cinnamon rolls and sweetbreads. Baking parchment, also known as baking paper, provides a non-stick surface for baked goods and promotes even browning, making it a valuable tool in the kitchen. High sugar content in a recipe contributes to both sweetness and tenderness, but it can also lead to increased browning and a softer texture in the final product. The chemical leavening reaction in baking powder begins when the powder is mixed with liquid and continues during baking, producing carbon dioxide to lift and lighten the batter. Folding egg whites into a batter is a delicate technique that helps maintain a light and airy texture in recipes like soufflés and chiffon cakes. Bread flour has a higher protein content than all-purpose flour, making it ideal for yeast-risen breads as it provides more gluten for structure and a chewier texture. Lard, traditionally used in pie crusts, creates a flaky texture due to its solid at room temperature nature, resulting in a distinct, savory flavor in the crust. Baking with expired baking powder may lead to disappointing results, as its leavening power diminishes over time, affecting the rise and texture of baked goods. The poke test is a method used to determine the doneness of bread by poking the center, and if it springs back, the bread is fully baked. If not, it needs more time. Egg wash, a mixture of beaten eggs and liquid applied to the surface of baked goods, creates a shiny, golden brown finish and helps toppings adhere to items like pastries. The addition of fat in cookies inhibits gluten formation, resulting in a tender and crumbly texture, especially when using methods like the creaming technique. Rye flour, commonly used in artisanal breads, adds a distinct flavor and contributes to a denser texture due to its lower gluten content compared to traditional wheat flour. The acidity in sour cream can react with baking soda, providing leavening and a tangy flavor in recipes, often used in cakes, muffins, and quick breads. In laminated dough, butter is folded into the dough multiple times, creating alternating layers that result in a flaky texture, as seen in pastries like croissants. Baking stones, when preheated in the oven, provide a consistent, high-heat surface that helps achieve a crispy crust on bread and pizza by evenly distributing heat. Pastry flour has a lower protein content than all-purpose flour, resulting in a more delicate and tender texture, making it suitable for pastries and delicate cakes. Meringue is made by whipping egg whites to incorporate air, creating a stable foam that can be baked to form light, airy strictures in desserts like pavlova or macarons. The use of instant yeast in recipes eliminates the need for proofing, as it can be added directly to the dry ingredients, speeding up the rising process in breads. Baked goods continue to cook after being removed from the oven due to residual heat, a phenomenon known as carryover cooking, impacting the final texture and doneness. The addition of cornstarch in recipes aids in creating a tender crumb by interfering with gluten formation, often used in cakes, cookies, and certain dessert fillings. The sponge method involves mixing a portion of the flour and liquid with yeast to create a fermenting sponge before incorporating the remaining ingredients. The acidity in sourdough starter not only contributes to the tangy flavor but also helps regulate fermentation and enhances the keeping qualities of the bread. Crème fraîche, a cultured cream product, adds richness and a slightly tangy flavor to baked goods, often used in recipes like tarts and cheesecakes. The process of docking involves pricking the surface of dough with a fork before baking, preventing excessive puffing and air bubbles in items like pie crusts. Baking chocolate contains no added sugars, making it suitable for recipes where the sweetness is controlled separately, such as in brownies or certain chocolate desserts. Empanadas, a type of baked or fried pastry, are a versatile dish found in various cultures, featuring a folded or sealed dough filled with savory or sweet ingredients. The addition of baking powder to a recipe provides additional leavening without the need for acidic ingredients, making it a convenient option in recipes with low acidity. The use of steam in baking creates a humid environment in the oven, promoting crust development and enhancing the rise in bread, especially artisan loaves. Pâte sucrée, a sweet pastry dough, contains sugar and often an egg yolk, resulting in a crumbly and sweet crust, commonly used in desserts like tarts and pies.